Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your January 2022 tarot reading. I hope you guys are having a great holiday season and have an awesome new year. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic Oracle spread as always, and also put a couple of Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling these astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have 2, so that's your second house of Scorpio. Not really much going on there, astrologically speaking, but there could definitely be a focus on finances, possessions for you guys this month. Alright, we have the moon, and as far as January goes, of course, we'll have the full moon in Cancer. That's going to be the primary thing that would pop out, but just pay attention to the lunar cycles in general. And also we have Aquarius. So for you guys, that's your 5th house of romance, creativity, children. And there are a couple of Aquarius cards in your spread too, so we'll keep that in mind as we go along. Alright, so with that in mind, the main situation position, we have the Knight of Wands, Sagittarius energy, and the 7 of Swords, Aquarius energy. So seeing these two cards together, I feel like this is primarily saying, especially given that this is your house of communication, if you feel like there's been someone deceptive around you, so let's say just because this is 5th house energy for you, right? Let's say it's within your dating environment. You might have found like there were people being deceptive, and I feel like this could be you catching wind of that and just totally leaving the scene, right? Now, to be fair, I do have to at least factor in that for some of you, this could be saying that you guys might be the ones who've been being deceptive when it comes to the dating scene, and maybe giving people the impression of one thing, and then when things start to get a little more serious, you would bolt from the scene, right? So that's another way I can see that playing out too. But yeah, either way, especially given that the South Node's finally going to be moving out of Sagittarius, and of course we have all the transits moving through Sagittarius at the time we're recording this, could just be pointing to the fact that if there was something that needed to come to light around deception in your environment, whether it's coming from others or from you, I feel like this is saying that you're going to be distancing yourself from that this month, which is definitely a good thing. All right, and the challenger obstacle position, we have the 6 of Swords. So more Aquarius energy here, but what this is primarily saying to me is that it might have been a struggle for you to leave this behind, right? So let's just say it was a toxic relationship, right? And you really had love for this person, but deep down you knew it was toxic, but for whatever reason actually pulling away from the connection might have been difficult for you, right? So, and again, I'm getting a bit of a romantic vibe with that, but it could just be any type of connection, especially when we just have the 3rd house communication involved, but that's kind of what I'm seeing with that. So yeah, it could just be saying that this is something that you possibly had to leave behind for a while, or at least felt like you did, but it could have been a struggle around doing so. And speaking of struggle, in the foundation position, we have the 10 of Wands, Sagittarius energy, and 8 of Swords, Gemini energy. So the commonality between these two cards, even though they represent opposites, right, is the fact that, to me, I'm looking at the way he's carrying those wands, and I doubt that he could even see the path forward, right? Like, I mean, the way he's carrying those wands right in front of his line of sight, his head is down as well. I don't necessarily feel like he could see where he's going too well, right? And here it's quite obvious that she can't see where she's going either. So again, for some of you, I feel like this is a burden that you might have held on to for a long time, right? So maybe you had that awareness that, okay, this person is being deceptive, right? Or like I said, that 7 of Swords especially could point to self-sabotage. If this is your own deceptive cycles that you've been going through, I feel like this represents the awareness of that, but at the same time trying to push that down and not look at it, right? Like, nope, not touching that, right? Like we see she's afraid to even move one step forward. So could have just been saying that this was something that was really a struggle for you guys to leave behind. And like I said, it could just be as simple as with the node finally moving out of Sagittarius, that could be what wraps that up for you. All right. In the past position, we have the 5 of Pentacles. So this is Taurus energy here. So again, like I said, if this was people in your environment within the dating scene, right? Maybe you might have felt like you were left out in the cold, abandoned in a situation, right? Maybe they started to build something with you and then they would bolt seemingly just as quickly, right? So could just be the types of dynamics you guys are dealing with. Could have been around intimacy too, right? So there could have been some difficulty when it comes to intimacy, given that for you guys, Taurus energy is your 8th house. And for some of you, this could even represent investments, right? So maybe you made some bad investments with people where they made things sound one way, you invested in it, and then found out it was totally not what you were expecting, right? So these are different ways I could see that playing out. But no matter what angle we approach that from, the good thing is to see that in the present, we have the Hierophant. So more Taurus energy here, the Major Arcana version of that energy. So at the very least, I feel like this is saying that you guys might be seeing what it was all meant to teach you from a more higher spiritual vantage point. So speaking of the nodes again, we do have the fact that the North node's moving out of Gemini into Taurus. So Gemini being your 9th house, seeing things from a higher learning perspective, right? Philosophical vantage point. And now seeing it move to Taurus, right? Which we see here. So I feel like this is saying whatever that situation was, I feel like you did learn from it, however difficult that might have been to go through, and how you're actually able to use that in a positive manner moving forward. All right, in the near future position, we have the 9 of Pentacles, Virgo energy, and the Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn energy. So on the one hand, this could definitely represent growth, especially if there was, like I was saying, if you made some kind of bad investments, it looks like there could be some growth there. And so you might be rebounding from whatever losses you might have taken around those investments. But another way I could see this playing out too could just be saying that on the surface, you might be presenting this energy like you're happy and free and vibrant, right? But beneath it all, you might actually have that desire for more stability too. So I could see that playing out that way as well. So something to keep in mind with that. And for some of you, you could have a bit of a reluctance to embrace that side of your energy as well, possibly from your early upbringing, given that Capricorn energy is your 4th house rather. And we have that Venus retrograde going through there, right? So you might be really evaluating how you might interact with love and money based on your early upbringing. And you might be, seeing do those things still fit for you, or should you possibly shift over to a new path? All right, and the position of your influence in a situation, we have the 3 of Pentacles. So Capricorn energy here, actually, and to see that 5 of Pentacles and what I was talking about around possible investments that might have been losses for you, to me, this represents that energy of rebuilding. So yeah, if there was some kind of setback, it does look like you've definitely learned from it, right? You've grown from it, and now you're just going to rebuild and let that stay behind you. And again, if this is around a relationship thing too, right? Where, like I said, maybe if you had your own little toxic pattern when it came to dating, where you might give people an impression of a certain thing and then bolt when things get a little more serious, right? This could represent now that desire for the stability that we were talking about there as well. So it could be playing out either way. All right, and the position of the environment, we have the 2 of Wands. So if this is someone else, this is Aries energy for one. So if this is someone else, this could just represent them looking at you, right? And seeing you on the surface as that 9 of Pentacles energy. So keep in mind for you guys, Aries is your opposite sign of relationships, partnerships. So this could represent them having that desire to be with you, but they might see you in that vantage of, oh, she's totally single or he's totally single doing their thing, right? Seem totally happy doing so. So there could be some consternation on their part toward coming toward you because they're like, oh, they seem to be happy single. I'm not even really going to go there, when ironically underneath it all, you might actually have that desire for more stability like they do. So just be mindful of that. That could be what that 7 of Swords is pointing to there, right? Saying that you might be shooting yourselves in the foot in that regard if that's not really the image that you do want to put out there authentically. Now, if this is you, to be fair too, it could be the same thing, right? Where you might be reevaluating for yourself, like, okay, yeah, I've been doing this thing for a while. Do I want to possibly start to build with someone else, right? So I could see that playing out that way as well. I see if anything else comes to mind with that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. So, of course, the first thing that comes to mind seeing this in reverse is you might just fear that people are being honest with you. And again, like I said, because we have to be fair there, given the way those 2 cards came out in the main situation, For others of you, you might have a fear of speaking the truth, right? So I could see that playing out either way. But I will say it does look like there will be truth coming out for sure. So just be mindful of that, right? If there's something you don't want coming out, it might come out anyway. But yeah, that's what I see with that. And good thing is, in the outcome position, we have the sun. So the sun could just represent you guys feeling re-energized, especially given that we did see the Aquarius energy come out here, which is fifth house for you, and the sun is the ruler of the fifth house. Could just be saying that as simple as that, right? That transit, as Jupiter wraps up the transit through there, might give you that spark on its way out. But yeah, this could just be saying that this is going to be the energy you can't expect. When we see the sun card, keep in mind the figure in there is very young, right? So if we look at it in the major arcana, represents the growth of the sun. So if you're not feeling fully energized yet, it's going to be something that's going to be gradually coming your way. So just be mindful of that. So if early January, for example, you're feeling a bit more low energy, as we progress through the month, you should see it increase. And speaking of low energy, bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords, which is actually a Libra card as well. And this represents a cycle of healing. So yeah, this could be whatever these situations were here that we mentioned, the different scenarios already. We're not going to go back over them again. But this could represent you guys taking that time out, reflecting, figuring out what there was to learn from it, and then moving forward. So pretty positive energies there. And moving on to your oracle cards, we have don't take anything personally, see other people as they are. And it says, when you see other people as they are without taking it personally, you can never be hurt by what they say or do. Even if others lie to you, it is okay. They are lying to you because they are afraid you will discover that they are not perfect. So interesting message there. I wonder if for some of you, because like we mentioned, with that Seven of Swords energy, yes, for some of you that might be your energy, but it could certainly be the energy of others as well. So I wonder if this is that perspective shift for you guys, right? Where maybe you start to look at if there have been people who were deceptive with you in the past. You might look at that from a different perspective now, right? Kind of like it says in that card, and just move past it, and then that might free up some blockages on your end. All right, so hopefully that resonated with you. Next, we have Serendipity. There's the artwork, and the number is 18. All right, so let's see what we have for that. Okay, it says opportunity allied with readiness, the awareness of synchronicity, luck and good fortune appearing as signs and symbols, a magical alignment of events. The Oracle's message, you've stepped into alignment with the greater good where your dreams and a collective dream resonate in exquisite harmony. Now is the time for luck and preparation to meet and create miracles that you could never have planned all by yourself. Keep in mind that you are a channel for providence right now, as a higher energy uses you as a force on behalf of the whole world. Your fortune becomes everyone's fortune. Everything you bring into being now will leave a wondrous legacy for others in the future. Your service to the world is being supported at this time. Expect the unexpected and smile, for Spirit loves you very much. So definitely a pretty positive message there. And moving on to your relationship message, it says Spirit has a plan, and that plan is to place you in front of the right person at the right time. You have met or are about to meet someone vitally important to your journey, someone Spirit wants to bring into your life. Only divine forces can plan this meeting. It is out of your hands. Pay attention to the signs Spirit presents. So definitely an interesting message there, especially going back to what I was talking about with that Two of Wands, looking at that Nine of Pentacles, right? So one way I could see that is, like I said, if it looks like you've gone through some toxic patterns, whether they were from others or even your own, right? And now you might be presenting this image like you want one thing, which is to be single and free, where really underneath that, you might actually want something more stable. Could just be telling you to keep an eye on that, right? Because if you present that image out there, you might miss an opportunity. But it looks like it's saying that if you are authentic with what you truly want, someone who aligns with that might appear for you guys this month. All right. And the prosperity message says you are in the right place at the right time. Be grateful, for the stars are aligned in your favor and fortune is smiling on you. Victory and success are yours. The choices you have made in the past have prepared you for the opportunities now before you. This is your lucky moment. The timing is perfect. So yeah, pretty positive message there too. like I said, overall, for the most part, the spread does look pretty positive, aside from that Seven of Swords, right? And it looks like it's saying if you could stay out of your own way in that regard, whether it's continuing to let people be deceptive toward you, right, as opposed to moving on from that, or if you're the one being deceptive, it looks like if you could avoid those things, this is going to be a pretty positive month. All right, and lastly, we have a Mudra card for you guys. This is your Mudra here. It's the Panchamukha Mudra. And the keyword for it is integration. All right, and there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits, it says balances the left and right hemispheres of the brain by affecting the corpus callosum, which acts as a bridge between the two hemispheres, improves concentration and memory retention, benefits the tendons, activates the body's self-healing power. So if you think that sounds like a Mudra that would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of it in the description of the video as always. Once again, I hope you guys are having a great holiday season and Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.